Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Thanks for dropping by my weekly workshop, coming to you from the frozen tundra that is East Central Alberta, Canada. For those new arrivals to our community, the weekly workshop features a compilation of my content from the last 7 days, including, but not limited to, inspiration for would-be side hustlers and full-time giggers, tool and gear reviews, and finding financial and lifestyle freedom through entrepreneurship. And also, if you prefer your content of the video variety, you can find it all at toolmantim.co. Thanks for taking the time to have a listen, and with that, let's dive into this week's edition of the Weekly Workshop. Hey everybody, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Monday morning, which means it's time for another money-making minute. And this week, I've got another installment in my series that is products I wasted money on so you don't have to. And this week I've got a STANLEY product from you that I really wanted it to be good and it wasn't. So hang in there, I'll be right back. Alright guys, real quick, if you're new here, you want to know more about me, toolmantim.co, that's toolmantim.co. Find all my social media links there, Float, MeWe, Instagram, Odyssey, and Facebook. It's all there. Go over, friend me, interact, become part of our community. I love it. I appreciate it, and thank you. And if you guys are looking for recommended products for solutions to problems, products that have met the Toolman Tim seal of approval, go over to toolmantim.shop. I've got over 100 Amazon links to products that I've tested in the real world, products that have made me money, saved me money, or things like my kid spilt paint on vinyl siding. What do I use to get it off? Or I got to hang a picture and I don't want to drill a hole. What do I use? Got links to all that stuff over there, guys, and anything you pick up off Amazon through my links will support our channel and the content I make, and that is very appreciated. So thank you, guys. So this week, I've got a good one for you. I have got the STANLEY, let's zoom in, STANLEY FATMAX nozzle. And this is a product that I wanted to be really good. And you know, for the most part, it almost was. In these reviews, these products I wasted money on so you don't have to, sometimes it can be a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. You know, they can be a good product if used in the right way, but if they're used in the way that I need them, anyway, I want to be honest with you guys about the products that I use. So last spring, my Costco hose and, you know, by extension, the spray nozzle I had with it, both give up the ghost about the same time. So it was time for me to find a better option for a spray nozzle. And I know there's some all-metal ones out there, but I just don't like them that much. So I went to my local hardware store, Home Hardware here in town. Love them. They treat me great. They always give me good advice. And I started looking around and, you know, I noticed, hey, there's black and yellow. That's STANLEY. It's the FATMAX brand, and it's a spray nozzle. Match made in heaven. It's gonna work. And you know what? You pick the thing up and it weighs about 42 pounds. It's solid. The one thing it doesn't have is all the different features that I used to use a lot when I was watering plants and stuff, all the different patterns of watering. This is just one of those, you know, similar to the old fireman's nozzle. You just turn it and it goes wider, or tighten it up and it goes narrower, that kind of thing. So there's that. So the bonus, or the things about it I liked, were it was heavy. It's an almost either all metal or rubber kind of design, composition, that sort of thing. It worked well. It's a STANLEY FATMAX. Even the little adjustable knob back here was aluminum. And so I thought, okay, maybe. So confession time, guys. As you probably know, I am rather hard on hoses and hose nozzles. That's just the nature of who I am. Should I be better on them? Probably. Am I going to be? Probably not. I'm the type of guy who will leave a hose pressured up all summer long. I know, sacrilege, but unfortunately, that's what I do. And I'm also the type of guy that'll grab a hose in the middle and drag it across the lawn. Not that I have a long lawn. And this little handle here will hook on things, and I'll start swearing because it won't follow me. If I had just went over, bent over, stopped being a lazy ass, picked it up by the nozzle and walked it over, it would have been good. Now, that wasn't what happened to this guy, but I'm just hard on hose gear. And if you guys will notice though, one thing I have done is I've put all these Gilmore quick release couplings on these. I wanted to show you those. I've done a review way back. We'll do another one coming up. They're lifesavers. I love them. They work great. they save a lot of swearing. But anyway, back to this product. So like I said, I love, well, I'm a Dewalt guy, and by extension, usually Stanley. And FATMAX, I have found in the last while, has become a lot like the Gorilla Glue brand. They had a really good product, or they started out with a really good concept and some really good quality products, and they're awesome. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, let's put our name on everything. So, you know, the original Gorilla Glue was great, but there's a ton of other Gorilla products out there that just don't pass the muster. And unfortunately, some of the FATMAX products are the same way. So I used this for most of the summer. I put it away, I stored it, I put them in the basement so they won't freeze. I brought it up in the spring, I used it a couple of times, and there was one design flaw in that. Can you see how thin that plastic handle was right there? Look like I'm pointing a gun at you. I went to grab it, I went to pull it, and the handle literally crumbled off in my hand. Not from misuse, not from improper storage, just from the fact that it was paper thin plastic. And that's what really made me mad. Stanley can do better. FATMAX can do better. Literally, you have this entire assembly that is awesome. I love it. Everything about it. It's got aluminum metal knob for adjusting, heavy-duty plastic, rubber grips, all aluminum housing up here, solid everywhere. Perfect nozzle, except that damn pull handle on the back. It ended up snapping off in my hand, and it went in the bucket. And I said, I'm going to save that for a products I wasted money on so you don't have to segment, because, well, that's what I did. I spent way too much money on this at the local hardware store thinking this would be my answer, and it's not. So I am on the hunt for a better product. So that being said, if you guys have recommendations for a better nozzle and a better hose, I definitely got the quick release couplings down. I love those things. But if you guys have recommendations for a buy it for life nozzle, or at least a much better option than, hey, I'm going to break every single year in Tim's hand option, then throw them in the comments below, because that is something I need. I want to test out some hose nozzles. I want to do a video, maybe a showdown, or just a test, you know, have something that I can run for the rest of the summer, store it away, check it out in the spring, and then maybe report back to you guys. But if you've got something you like, throw it in the comments below. Let me know what your recommendation is, because that's what I'm here for. Share this information amongst our community. So that's it for me this week, guys. If you're new here and you like what I have, hit that subscribe button. Stick around, become part of the community, interact, share your information, get to know some other people, all that jazz. And if you got value from this video, take a minute, share it on your social platform of choice. That's how we grow this community, guys, and you know I appreciate it. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. Good morning, guys. Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Tuesday morning, which means it's time for another Toolbox Tuesday review. And as always, I've got a good one for you. This week I'm going to tell you, don't be a square. Oh, Tim, your humor, it needs some work. But this week I've got my brand new to me Dewalt 7-inch square. All right, guys, real quick before we dive into this week's review, if you're new here, go by toolmantim.co and find out all there is to know about who I am. Join our community. Find my social links on Float, MeWe, Odyssey, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow us over there, interact with me, make content suggestions, anything. Always appreciate it, guys. And if you're here looking for a solution to a problem, product recommendations, go by toolmantim.shop. And you'll see over 100 Amazon links there to products that I've used in my handyman business, things that have made me money or saved me money, solutions to problems like spilled paint on vinyl siding or hanging heavy pictures without drilling holes, stuff that's worked for me. Anything you buy there in the next 24 hours, sound like an infomercial. Anyway, anything that you purchase through those links or anything else you purchase after clicking one of those links will go, a small percentage of that will support my channel, and I appreciate you guys immensely for that. Thank you so much. All right, so this week, again, for those of you who follow me on social media and different places, you will know that this year has been the year of the upgrade for me. I have been working on, one of the mantras of my teaching is using what you have and getting by and making do and making money with what you have on hand to start with. And that's exactly what I did when I started building my handyman business 4 years ago. It was literally, I don't want to say junk, but it was literally like the bottom of the barrel homeowner grade tools that I scraped together, that I put together in a toolbox so that I could go out and do handyman property maintenance and that sort of stuff. The important thing was that I started, and that's the same with you guys. And now, over the last year, I've been working at making my everyday carry toolbox meaner, leaner, and stronger. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, no. But basically, I've been replacing all of the small, cheap stuff that's been wearing out or wasn't top quality or things that made me frustrated. And one of those things, of course, and actually it was something I had to purchase. I didn't even have a square when I first started. I bought just a generic import, thin little, about a quarter as thin. I don't even have it now. I got rid of it as quick as I did when I replaced it with this guy. But it was just one of them silver ones with no markings, the type that as I get older and my eyes don't work as good as they should, I really couldn't read it. The end started getting just a little bit, had a little list to the side there because, well, it's thin, you throw it in your toolbox, you drop it, whatever. It just, could I still make a straight edge line with it when I wanted to cut boards? Yep. Could I do anything else with it whatsoever? Nope. So it was time. And you guys have heard me talk about my long, slow walks through Home Depot. Well, this was one of the products I picked up during that. One evening, my wife and I were out having a date night, and I was nice enough to talk her into going through Home Depot with me. And she's like, well, what are we looking for tonight, hun? And I said, well, a square. And she said, well, will that one do? And of course, it had the beautiful, beautiful black and yellow on it. And I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Now, I'm no professional rafter. I'm really no professional carpenter, but I know how to cut a square board, and I can, fix things and repair things and build decks and small fences and things like that. And I've really grown to love my square. And I wanted something a little bit better. I wanted something, number one, with a more substantial lip right there, which this guy has. It's almost too substantial, but it works really well. It hangs on good. The other one would pop off occasionally. I know that sounds foolish, but anyway, let's dig into the bread and butter of this. It's a DWHT 46031 aluminum 7-inch premium rafter square from Dewalt. Now, you guys know that I am a black and yellow die-hard Dewalt guy, as you can see, but I'm also the first to admit that Dewalt's hand tools, that sort of thing, are hit and miss. And sometimes lately they've been a little more miss than hit. But this guy's a home run for what it is. 5 out of 5 stars on Amazon with 1,300 ratings. And so like I said, 3 things I was looking for. I wanted something more substantial so it wouldn't bend. I wanted something with a thicker edge so it would hang onto the board better when I'm making my cuts. And the big thing was visibility. And as you can see, all of those laser engraved numbers are beautifully dipped in white paint or touched in white paint. And then they have a glossy finish over top of that. So hopefully, now, if you're a day-to-day, everyday user, the paint may not hold up as much. That was, again, I go through the Amazon reviews. They remind me of people who might have been extras in, the telemarketer shows. What's wrong with me today? And as you guys know, I go back through the Amazon review links just to see what other people had to say. And one of the big concerns where people are like, oh, I don't know if the numbers are going to stay on there. Well, I can tell you right now that the black and white contrast on this is going to be better than any of those non-painted silver, just generic ones that I always had. So if this paint lasts a year, great. If it lasts 5 years, great, whatever. But it's better than all of that. So like I said, when you go through those Amazon negative reviews, it honestly reminds me of people who worked in infomercials as extras and didn't know how to use a garden hose, because sometimes you just literally shake your head and think, what are you expecting? Like, you buy a $5 tool and then you review it like it should have been a $105 tool. But I digress. Like I said, DeWalt has been a little hit or miss with some of their products, but if you're looking for a very sturdy, very substantial carpenter square, this guy will absolutely fit the bill. Also, I'm sure a lot of you guys know a lot of the tips and tricks and hacks that come with these things. I'm not going to get into them today. There's a ton of videos out there of guys that have done way better jobs than I ever could. But beyond just being able to take measurements and make nice straight square cuts and lines with this guy, there's a ton of tips and tricks. So do yourself a favor, do a quick Google search and find some of those, because these can be an indispensable tool that you can use all the time. So if you're looking for a good quality square, I really like this guy. He wasn't overly expensive, available on Amazon, so take a minute, check it out. If you have a recommendation for a framer square that you like, or you'd like me to try some other ones, great too, or something just outside of the box, or tell me how much you hate it. I love hearing that too. As long as you give me legitimate reasons, I'll listen to you. And if it's, I hate it because I hate it, well, I'll just move on. But anyway. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, stick around, become part of our incredible community here. And beyond that, if you got value from the video, you know what I always tell you. Take a minute, share it on your social platform of choice. That would help me out immensely. And you know, I always appreciate you guys dropping by the workshop. I love talking to you. I love interacting with you. I love teaching you what I know. And most importantly is I love learning from you guys. I get some incredible comments from incredible community members who teach me stuff. You're like, hey, Tim, you know, you were wrong here. And I'm okay with that because I like learning. It's awesome. So thanks, guys. Thanks for dropping by. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for the flagship video series of the week, the Tool Time Gear Review. And I have got a different product for you this week. I know it's going to be a surprise, but it's a yellow and black tool. But what's this strange thing coming off the bottom of it? This is definitely something I've never reviewed before. And as a matter of fact, I actually had one of our viewers and community members and a good friend of mine come by and lend me this to do a review on it. So hang in there and I'll be right back. Alright guys, real quick before we dive into the review, if you're new here, go by toolmantim.co. Check out everything there is to know about our community and who I am. Like me on all the different social media platforms, interact with us. If you have any video ideas, topics, whatever, review ideas, drop them in the comments below or send me a PM or whatever on social media. I would appreciate that, guys. And if you're looking for solutions to problems, products, anything, go over to toolmantim.shop where I've got over 100 Amazon links to products that I have tested personally in my handyman business. Stuff that has made me money or saved me money. Solutions to problems like paint spilled on vinyl siding or hanging pictures without drilling holes. Stuff that I really, really like and have worked well for me. And anything you buy through those links helps support the content that I create. So thanks, guys. You know I always appreciate that. All right, guys. So this is definitely a different one. I have to say that I do believe that this is, no, not believe, this is the truth. This is the very first electric Dewalt tool that I have reviewed on this channel. You guys know that I am a die-hard yellow and black fan. I enjoy most of their products. Had a few issues with their hand tools, but I love the cordless battery stuff that they have out there. So when Rev, a friend of mine, a much better carpenter than I am, started talking about this, he said, you know what, buddy? He said, I'm going to bring it by and we're going to do a project together. You can test it out, do a review on it, and let people know what you think, because he personally absolutely loved it. And I thought, okay, well, let's give it a go. And if you guys follow me on social media, you know that I just recently upgraded my fuel storage program and I bought a used 100-gallon metal fuel slip tank. And, you know, it wasn't in bad shape, but I wanted to strip the whole thing down and get a better feel for what was beneath the paint and get a better surface to prime and paint it. And I actually bought one first, real backtrack. I spent about 5-hour round trip taking a drive to pick one up for dirt cheap. I give it a quick inspection on the place, started sanding it down when I got home, and I found a whole bunch of pinholes in the bottom. The guy said it was good. Maybe it was. I have a feeling it was from sitting on gravel, so had to find a new one. So I got this new one, but the first one I started using a cup brush on a wire cup brush on a grinder, and those flap discs, you know, they also fit on a grinder. Flap discs work great, but they wear out quick. The wire brushes will work all day long, but are slower than going uphill in the wintertime twice with molasses or something like, you know, anyway. Yeah, they are slow, and they do an okay job, but all the time. I probably spent 2 or 3 hours with the grinder on that old tank and only maybe made it a third the way through. Rev and I spent an hour in the nearly hottest day of the year with this guy right here. It's an incredible, it looks like a drill with a sander attachment on it, but it really, really does the trick. I was impressed with how well it worked. I'm going to tell you, make sure you have a really good supply of sandpaper on hand, because you can push hard on this and get going with it, but it'll bog down if you push too hard. The way this works best is to let the speed, it has a variable speed trigger on it as well, and you can go lower, but honestly, it seems to be the absolute best way to do it is to let it go full tilt with moderate pressure and a good aggressive grit of sandpaper. And it did an incredible job. As you guys will see some of the footage, I got a little bit here, probably pop it up around here somewhere to show you how well it really, really worked. All right, so this guy here, see if I can find you the model number. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I'm going to read it to you. DWE6401DS. It has 4.7 stars out of how many reviews? 600 reviews on Amazon. It's well under $100 US and just over $100 Canadian on either Amazon. You can order replacement rubber pads, 4-pack for about $40. So they're not super expensive, but the thing does what it says it will do. We never put any chunks out of the rubber at all, and we were pretty aggressive with it. It takes 8-hole, 5-inch standard hook and loop sandpaper, and you can even get an attachment for it that'll hook up to a shop vac or dust extractor. In our instance, we didn't. We just did the redneck thing where one guy sanded it and the other guy stood over his shoulder with a battery-powered Dewalt blower. It worked more than sufficient for what we were doing. You guys know I always work my way through the Amazon comments and reviews on these products to see what other people thought of it. And I think the best comment I found in all the Amazon reviews was the guy said that he thinks this would literally skin a grizzly bear in under a minute if you let it do its work. And I don't know about a grizzly bear, but I think it really would if you put it to town. Like, this thing has a ton of stripping power built into it. What I like about this is the handle. So I tend to grind and sand southpaw, and if I do it the other way, my hands just get fatigued really quick. So it's completely changeable, just like a grinder, so you can go right to left. And what I love about it is, over the typical Orbital sander, you know, you kind of hold it like this and hold down like this, and it's really hard on the hands. It vibrates, it bothers you. Well, with this, you've got 2 hands, and you just let it do its work. It has a lot of orbitalness to it. Like, it really wants to pull you if you're not careful. But if you get it in and you're on just a little bit of an angle like a grinder, it does the best job you can find, and it doesn't really want to pull you. But be careful getting up around sharp edges, like when we were sanding up around like the carry handles on these slip tanks. It'll chew up your sandpaper in less than a second flat. So my buddy Rev picked this up to redo the clapboard siding on his house. And ever since he picked it up, he absolutely raved about how much he liked this product. And I thought, okay, no problem. And you know, there's other options. Of course, the Orbital sander, which is slow and hard on the hands, and a belt sander, which is aggressive and super heavy. But this kind of was in the middle. It had more power than an Orbital sander, but of course, it's way lighter and safer to use than a belt sander for that instance. And he's had great luck using an aggressive grit, going along and resanding to refinish his siding. So yeah, this thing right now, like I said, it just made the chore of sanding something that I don't love to do anyway. And I know there's better, higher end products out on the market, but if you're looking for something that's really reasonably priced, that'll absolutely work well to take a lot of material off really quick, it's designed to be less fatiguing in the hand and using it, this is the way to go. And you guys know, I love my cordless stuff, but there's absolutely still a place for corded products on the market. And this is one of those instances where it really is. I love my grinder, it worked good, but for stripping paint off of metal, this is the way to go. So whatever project you're working on, make sure you have a lot of sanding discs on hand, because the fact that this sucker just flies and chews up the paint and the rust and all the old junk, you're going to go through a lot of sanding discs. We used 80 to pull all that old kind of loose, flaky, gross paint off there. And then we switched over to, I think it was 100 or 120 just to give it a quick finish, which was really good. But in this instance, just have lots of discs, and they're cheap. Just have a bunch on hand and you can do a lot of work really, really quick. You know, if I had an overhead dust collector system or something, I'd probably hook into that. But for what we did, the old redneck version with the battery powered worked really well. So what do you guys use when you need to do some heavy duty paint removal? This thing worked really well for me. I know there's a ton of other products out there that work. Let me know what your recommendation is or your go-to product is for stripping paint, heavy duty sanding. I know Joseph will have something to say about this. Absolutely. And I love hearing recommendations from all you guys because it gives me something else to test out. But I want to say thanks to Rev for bringing this by, letting us play with his toys for an afternoon and getting to do a really good review on it. I love trying out new tools, especially when I can try out a new tool and I don't necessarily have to buy it right away. I can say, hey, do I like this? Don't like it? And in this instance, 2 thumbs up, man. I really liked it. So thanks, Rev. Thanks for bringing it by. Drop me a line, guys, in the comments of other recommendations you have of stuff like this. And if you're new here and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, just take a minute, hit that button, and stick around, become part of our community because I love talking about tools. I love taking the time to share my knowledge with you guys. So thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out with me in the workshop this week. We'll see you on Saturday for the weekend workshop. And do not forget, Sunday nights we have Talking Tools live stream every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Mountain Time where I talk about tools. We interact as a community. So thanks, guys. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop. Wanted to show you a product that showed up today. These were recommended to me by another community member who saw that I am awfully hard on safety glasses and sunglasses. I tend to break them way too quick and spend too much money on them. So these Crossfire safety sunglasses, their tagline is takes an impact, makes an impact. Well, we're going to see. Because if anybody around can break a pair of safety sunglasses easily, it would be me. So if you're interested in seeing a full review on this down the road, just hit that subscribe button. Stick around. Sometime in the next month or two, once I've put these through their paces, I'll come back and I'll fill you in on what exactly I think. But for now, I wanted to show you this new product that showed up. We're going to give it a shot, run it through its paces. Stay happy, stay healthy, have a great week. Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. Saturday morning, which means it's time for another edition of the weekend workshop. And as always, this tends to be one of my favorite series of the week. And I've got yet another topic for you that I hope you really enjoy. This week, we're going to talk about using Dewalt Cordless technology in the realm of emergency preparedness. All right, guys, real quick before we dive in, as always, if you want to know more about me, go to toolmantim.co. That's toolmantim.co. Find all my social platforms there. Follow me on Float. Go by MeWe, Odyssey, Facebook, Instagram, and my daughter's been running the TikTok account lately too, just to try that out. We'll see how that goes, but check it out there. And if you're looking for solutions to problems, products that meet the Toolman Tim seal of approval, go by the shop or toolmantim.shop to check out links to all the stuff on Amazon that I recommend that I've used that have made me money or saved me money in my business. Stuff like, I got to get paint off vinyl siding or I got to hang a picture and I can't drill a hole. What do you recommend, Tim? So check that out. And anything you buy, of course, helps support this channel and the content that I create, and I am grateful for that. So thanks, guys. All right, so this week I want to talk to you about one of the topics that I'm obviously passionate about, and that is emergency preparedness. And in this case, in the realm of Dewalt Cordless tools, Dewalt Cordless platform, and how we're going to use that in an emergency. You guys know you need to have heat and lights. Well, at least you need to have heat and shelter and food and water. And if you have all those taken care of, the next thing you really need is power. And you know, you guys have always heard me talk about 2 is 1, 1 is none, 3 is a guarantee, and also the need to have products that have multiple uses and things you're able to use in different ways. So you might have a camper that you use 9 months of the year to camp in, but it can also be a home away from home if there's a wildfire and you need to get away in a quick way. How great is that? You may never need it, but it's always there, and that is a use that you can have. How about a headlamp? I use headlamps all the time when I'm crawling underneath the trailers and that sort of thing to help fix plumbing leaks or to find insulation problems or to get rid of mice. Awesome. But when the power goes out, I've got 2 of them in my drawer right next to my bed. Slap those suckers on, and now they're an emergency preparedness headlamp. Something I use as a tool on a regular basis, but something I'm also able to use in an emergency. How about regular fuel storage? So I've got fuel on hand for my mowers. I've got fuel on hand for my truck, which is great. But when the power goes out, that same gas, also the propane that I use for my grill, the propane and the gas can be used to help create emergency power to keep the lights on, to make the coffee hot, to keep the heat going, all of that stuff. So, I've got everything that I prepare with, everything that I keep on hand has a practical everyday use, pretty much everything, but it also, hopefully, has a secondary use, which is great to use. Think about all your camping gear that you have, an outdoor stove, solar lights, all kinds of cool stuff, all kinds of things that you can use in a grid down or a power outage emergency. And also, we've got all of these Dewalt tools all up around here. We got a huge storage of power in all those 20 volt, 60 volt batteries that's untapped. So why don't we look at using, especially in an emergency, if somebody isn't completely prepared yet, tapping into that stored power using Dewalt technology, because you guys know I love Dewalt, and let's see what we can come up with to help us in an emergency like that. So this is going to be a video very similar to, if you saw a while back, my video on the Amish love Dewalt tools, and here's a list. So most of the stuff I'm going to talk to you about, I don't personally have yet. I've been looking at, but I wanted to share with you a lot of the cool stuff that I found online. So as I talk about each product, you'll see a picture pop up on the screen here, and we can look at it together. Well, I can't really. I'll pretend like it's there, but you know how it is. So, all right. So the first item, and I do have this guy, he's actually sitting right over there, and this is the one that's important before an emergency. And this is the 4-port Dewalt charger. Now, if you have a bunch of single chargers or just one single charger, great, not a problem at all. But I love having that 4-port rapid charger because it's almost like forced compliance. I talk about that with my neck knife. You make something simple and easy and you're going to do it. If you've got to put 14 batteries on 14 different chargers and plug them into 14 different outlets, there's a good chance you're not going to keep your batteries topped up, charged, and ready to go. But if you've got a quick, a rapid charging 4-port charger that when you come in, you roll those mowers in, you can pull all 4 of those batteries off, slap them on there, set it and forget it, and it's done in an hour. There's a good chance you're going to do it. So having a good charging system, and in this instance, the 4-port rapid I'm tongue-tied today, it's great. The 4-port rapid charger works great for me. So that's the key, is having this stuff. If you've got a whole bunch of batteries and they're all dead when the power goes out, that ain't going to do you a lot of good. So a little bit of forethought and making sure the stuff stays charged on a regular basis is important in a grid down or just a power outage. All right, now number 2, and this is one, Joseph Mills, my buddy, you guys know him from Mills Construction. He did an awesome review on this product. I don't have it yet. It's a big price point. I just haven't justified it yet, but it's the Dewalt Power Station. And it takes 4 Dewalt batteries. It also acts as a charger, but what's great is it's basically a battery generator. So you can put 4 batteries on there, and I believe it's good up to 1800 watts. There may be a little higher for peak watts, but you can basically plug any 1500 watt item within reason into it and run with it. And how great is that? So you've basically got a way to tap into all of these batteries that with no fancy connections, you can just take maybe a microwave, whatever, anything that's below 1500 watts and plug it into the Dewalt Power Station and run it. So you've now just taken an easy way to slap all those batteries on and run with them without having to tinker or change any of the interior wiring like the Amish love to do so much. But that power station, that's next on my list. I wouldn't mind having it. You guys know I bought that big tri-fuel generator, and it's hard to justify maybe $500 on a Dewalt Power Station. But if you have it, it doubles as a charger and it works as a power station. Number 3, and it's the Dewalt Backpack Charger. Now this is really cool. So I was going through the Dewalt catalog the other night, well, a few weeks ago, because I'm a geek and I like to look at tools. And I seen a backpack and I thought, oh, well, that's just a backpack with a Dewalt brand on it. So that's cheap and not good and whatever. Anyway, So I looked at it, and inside there's a place to literally smack a Dewalt battery in there, and then there's USB charging ports built in. So this would be an incredible bug out bag. So say you need to go somewhere, and I don't mean, oh, the world's ended as we know it and we need to run off in the woods and live on our own. I mean, if you're going to the hospital because your wife's having a baby or your kid hurt their leg or whatever it happens to be, you can have your bug out bag ready to go, and you can just stop in your garage on your way out to the car, grab a couple of Dewalt batteries, you're good. Smack them in there, you get everything in, you can plug your phone in on the way to the hospital, or you've just got a portable source of power. So many people forget about that when they're heading out for something. So if you've got something already set up for it, great. So, you know, if you're looking at that, I really like that idea. I thought it's a little out of the ordinary, and you guys know some of this stuff will be a little tongue-in-cheek, but I wanted to get us thinking about, thinking outside the box, I guess is the right term I wanted to say there, but I wanted to get us thinking outside the box of how we can use other stuff for emergency preparedness uses. So this is kind of a fun list. You guys know I love my Dewalt stuff, and this backpack with the Dewalt battery adapter and USB charging ports fits the bill. Number 4, the inflation station. And that guy is right there. And that is maybe my single favorite Dewalt item tool on the market. And if you guys are taking a long road trip, you need 2 things. You need a way to inflate a tire, and you need a Victor tire plug kit or something comparable. And if you know how to do that, there is a chance that 90% of the typical calls you would make to AAA, you're not going to need. This inflation station is better than a pancake or a hot dog compressor. It's quieter, it's faster, it's well built. I've used it for small tires, big tires, everything in between, and there's nothing that's going to ruin a good day worse, or needing to get out quick worse than a flat tire. And this inflation station just fills things up. It gets you on the road. And you couple that with a really good tire plug kit. Teach yourself how to use a tire plug kit. That's important. And most automotive issues, especially tire related on the side of the road, you'll be okay to handle. Number 5, and this is the Dewalt handheld work light. This is something I almost picked up at Christmas. I ended up buying one from Crappy Tire instead. And as soon as I did it, I kicked myself because it has an internal battery. It's not compatible, whatever. Anyway, you guys know. But if you're out working all the time and you're like me and you're working in properties that the power's turned off because of non-payment or they've been abandoned or whatever, you need a mobile source of light. And Dewalt has a couple of different ones. They've got a nice work light on a stand, and they've got a nice work light that will sit right on the counter, whatever. Anyway, they all run off the 20-volt platform, and they're great for working with, but they're also incredibly convenient for power outages. So, you know, I mean, you can use smaller stuff, but if that's all you have, Dewalt has, probably going to talk about it after, but a handheld flashlight as well. But if that's literally all you have and you have no other way to tap into power, get out there, get that damn cordless work light, and it doesn't matter if it's Dewalt or whatever it is, bring it inside and use it. Because so many people, it's the same idea as there's a power outage because of a blizzard. They can't heat their house and stuff in their fridge goes bad. So then you're like, well, why didn't you put it outside? Or, okay, say you're heating your house, but you don't have enough power to heat your house and run your fridge. So, oh, my food spoiled, I had to cook. Just throw it outside in the damn snow. Just think for a minute. You know, you've got no light, you've got no flashlights, but I've got 3 cordless automotive work lights out in my shop that are fully charged because I love to be a weekend mechanic or a weekend warrior. Bring them inside and use them. Why not? Again, outside the box. Number 6, and this is the battery radio Bluetooth. Now, the one I picked up is just a Bluetooth. And if I'd have thought about it or waited, I probably would have bought the one with the radio as well. Because, again, function stacking. I'm going to use this 99. I don't listen to the radio any other time. I just don't. I don't like terrestrial radio, whatever. I listen to Bluetooth, you know, Apple Music, whatever, iTunes, that sort of thing on my Bluetooth speaker. But Dewalt also makes a Bluetooth speaker with a radio built in. And when the power's out, if the internet's down, whatever it happens to be, information is key. You always want to know when the power's coming back on, when something's going to get fixed, what's causing it. There's nothing worse than feeling like you don't have an ear to the outside world. And of course, if you don't happen to have a radio or you don't happen to have AA batteries to run your radio because the power's out and you've got that Dewalt Bluetooth radio, bring it in the house, turn it on. If nothing else, you guys can sit around and listen to an old-fashioned serial soap opera. No, not really. They haven't done that since the 30s. But you can sit and listen to 22 minutes of music every 60 minutes and listen to the DJ yammer on about everything else. Now, number 7 is one that I thought was pretty cool, and I didn't know that it was something that really worked, but I had a community member tell me he uses the Milwaukee version of this, and this is the DeWalt heated jackets and hoodies. Now, again, you're thinking, well, that doesn't seem super practical. Well, if you live up here and where, the wind can literally kill you or hurt your face and that kind of stuff, you need to stay warm. And these work really well to do that. But if you're in a house and you have no way to heat that house, it's way easier to just heat yourself than it is to heat the entire house. It's way more power friendly. You don't need anything else to do it. And if you don't have a heated blanket, because I've heard that's a really good way to keep yourself warm, of course, in a power outage, the next best thing is a heated jacket or a heated hoodie. Plus it says DeWalt on it, so it's pretty sharp looking. You can use it while you're working. And again, it runs off of the Dewalt Cordless platform. That's the job site spotlight. So the work lights I was talking about before, they were a little bit smaller. This is a great big, I can't remember the lumens on it, but it can literally light up an entire room. So instead of just having the tiny little work lights that they still work good, if you want to, have a backyard barbecue or something like that, anyway, doesn't matter. Set it up, get going, light up your life, and you're not using fuel or anything else. You're just using the DeWalt batteries that you already have on hand. Number 9 is a chainsaw. You might think, Tim, what in the hell does that have to do with emergency preparedness? Well, if you don't live in hurricane or blizzard country, you might not worry about it. But if you live way out in the country or even in town, of course, people, in here quite often, of course, the storms never happen when the town, when the town workers are up working, and they will get out and fix things. But you could be just traveling and all of a sudden, hey, I can't get out of town because there's a great big branch over the road, or there's a log in the way, or whatever. Again, or maybe you just got some branches that are rubbing on the house in an emergency, trying to pull off your roofing or cause some problems with your internet lines. Just get out there, use your DeWalt battery powered chainsaw, snip them up, clear them away. You can go around and earn some collateral with your neighbors by helping them out as well. And again, you're tapping into that. You're not using the gas that you have set aside for your generator. Quieter, easier, lighter, the whole shebang. Number 10. And this is the USB top-off charger, and this is probably the most practical and only emergency-based tool that DeWalt makes. It's not something that I use on a regular basis because I tend to keep my phone charged anyway, but you guys have seen it. I've got some around here. It's just a USB slide-on that goes on top of a DeWalt battery, and then you can plug up to 2 USB devices into it. And what doesn't charge with a USB nowadays? So if you are like a lot of people and you forgot to plug your phone in at night or whatever it happens to be, you can just slap that on, plug your phone in, and now you've got emergency power for just about anything up to 80 watts that'll run through a USB device. That can be pretty handy. It can be a lifesaver, literally. Number 11, DeWalt battery booster. Now this one's an electric tool. You'll see the picture up here, but again, if you've got a dead battery, I recommend battery packs. Those battery booster packs are great. But if you got a dead battery in a car, you're not going anywhere. You need to have a way to boost that. So if this isn't a power outage situation, but it's an emergency situation, like maybe you got a tornado on its way, or you got a wildfire, or maybe some weird gases or something, you got to get your vehicle up and running. You got a dead battery. The best thing, you're going to need to boost it somehow. Number 12, the 140 watt DeWalt car inverter. Now this one is just a regular old inverter, branded DeWalt, but I thought it was neat enough that you could use it. Now, if you've got the USB and you got to travel somewhere, slap that on, use your batteries, great. But if you don't and you need an inverter, plug that into your cigarette lighter or hardwire it right to your battery, and then you've got an electric outlet in your car that you can plug whatever you need to into. Maybe, like a little electric cooler, or, again, just charge the devices for the kiddos so they're not driving you crazy while you're trying to drive. Number 13, and this is where I get into a bit of a stretch, but it's kind of cool, and it is a multi-tool, or the DeWalt folding knife. Again, this is a DeWalt list. There is way better knives, way better multi-tools on the market, but a good quality knife and a good quality multi-tool are an emergency preparedness nuts. Must have. Everybody's got to have one. You'd be surprised how often you can use a knife or a multi-tool for 1,000 different things. And these just happened to be, when I was flipping through the catalog, I seen them. The Dewalt knife looks really good. A utility knife has way more uses than you think as well. They have one of those. The multi-tool is really cool. It's no Gerber, don't get me wrong, but for 20 bucks at Home Depot or Amazon, it'll do the trick, especially if you want a I don't want to say junky, I hate that word, but if you want a tool that you can a knife or a multi-tool that you can just throw in your truck so it's always there just in case you got to run and go do something, then those are the type to have. I've actually got my multi-tool in the truck right now, and it's just there. I might use it once or twice a year, but when I need it, I have it. Now, number 14, it's a bit of a cheat, but it's a drill pump. Dewalt doesn't make a drill pump, but you can buy those little pumps that you can put into a Dewalt drill, and in a pinch you can siphon fuel from one vehicle to another. Say you need some fuel for your generator and you're almost out, siphon it out of your vehicle. It'll handle a little bit of water. You don't want to use it as a sump pump, but if you have a bit of a trickle of water you need to get rid of, you can use it for that. You can use it for transferring fluids, but for me the main thing is transferring fuel from a vehicle to a jerry can, or from a jerry can into a generator. But pick up one of those little drill pumps and put it into one of your Dewalt drills and you're all set. All right, so that was kind of a fun list, guys. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it was a really cool exercise for me to think about the use of what we have on hand. We got all this stuff on hand. We spend all this time and money on all these toys and tools that we love to play with. And then when the power's out, we don't think about them again. We're like, well, they're useless right now, but they're not. And it doesn't have to be Dewalt. You guys know this. It can be Rigid, Milwaukee, Makita, all that. But really what this whole video was all about was looking around the house, looking around the garage, and making a mental list of the stuff. Hey, I've got this, and you know what this will do? This will do X, Y, Z when the power's out, and I never thought of that before. So I don't have to go buy another item. Or even better, when you're starting to look at items to buy, you can think, oh, this has 2 or 3 or 4 items or uses, and I'm going to pick this up. So guys, if you've got other things that you use in emergency preparedness from cordless tools, or even if this has just rattled your brain around and said, oh Tim, this is a great idea, I'm going to do this, and this is why I'm going to buy that, share that in the links below. That way the entire community can learn something from it. We can share our knowledge, we build together, we grow together, and we prepare together, which is also awesome. And guys, if you're new here and you like this content, hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and grow with this community. It's awesome. We're rapidly heading toward 2,000 subscribers, which blows my mind, and I love. Thank you guys for that. And again, toolmantim.co if you want to know more about me. And as always, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. If you guys hear me okay? All right, guys, well, welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. Toolman Tim here, and it's Sunday night, guys, and you know what that means. It's time for another live edition of Talkin' Tools, and we're going to do yet another segment of a 1 year later tool review. So this week, I've got another one of my absolute favorite tools. I guess you could call it a tool, but it's definitely one of those things that you use in my above ground pools to keep everything absolutely clean and pristine. It's been one of my bigger trending videos. I think I got about 4,000 views off it, but the cool thing is I kind of track my Amazon purchases that people make on the affiliate links, and this bad boy since January, there's been 7 of them sold, so that's kind of cool. There's a lot of interest, so what I figured I would do is go back and share with you guys some of the stuff that I forgot to talk about a year ago. And so I subjected myself to a rewatch of my review from 1 year ago, which was just ever so slightly painful to see how far I've come and at least a little more comfortable in front of the microphone and the camera. But it's just kind of fun to go back and see how far I've made it. So I went back, rewatched it, thought I'd touch on some things, whether I like this product as much as I did before. We could even subtitle this video, "The tool that is so nice, I bought it twice." And there's a story behind that. So, real quick, guys, if there's anybody new, this is live, but, you know, of the millions of you who are going to watch it on the recording, if you want to know more about who this ugly feller is up front here, you can go to toolmantim.co, find out all there is to know about me. And if you want to become part of our really cool community here, where we interact, share our knowledge, teach each other, talk about really cool tools and products and things like that, hit the subscribe button, stick around, and you can follow me on all the social media links that'll be in the description of this video once it gets posted for the re-recording. So, you guys like story time? I know you always do. I want to tell you a little bit about this right here. So, I went back and I rewatched my review video from last year, and I was sure, I was absolutely sure that I mentioned this cord in the video. But you know what? I didn't. So, first off, disclaimer, whatever, I love this thing. It works like a dream. It cleans the bottom of my pool better than anything else I've ever been able to find. But this cord pisses me off. So, I want to tell you guys a little bit about it. Last year, the only real complaint I had with this thing, if you guys can see that, it's a, I don't know, it's a square and a circle USB plug that's about 3 inches long. Not really 3 inches, but you know. Anyway, so my biggest concern was that I was going to lose it because it's a proprietary cord. I looked everywhere online and I couldn't find it from anywhere. Here we go. Hey Ted, how are you? Nice to see you, buddy. So I looked everywhere. The only place to get the replacements is INTEX. So anyway, long story short, I said I'm going to put this in the special drawer where all my good cords go so I don't lose it. And it stayed there until December, until I decided I wanted to do a top 10 tool review video for 2020. And so I brought this guy back out to the shop with the cord to do the top 10. Don't ask me why I brought the cord out. To do the top 10 video list, left it out here and lost the damn thing. So come April when I'm starting to hook up the pool, I can't find this cord anywhere. I panic, I go online. You guys know I live in Canada, and it was a little bit expensive. Doesn't matter. The cord itself was like $4, but shipping was like $35. So I'm like, that's cool. I'll buy 2 or 3 of them so that I can have extras for when I invariably lose it, cut, break it, whatever. So they had a maximum of 1 per order. So I could order 1 cord for the $30-some shipping. And if I wanted the second one, I had to pay the shipping again. So I got 1 extra cord. Thought in the meantime, I would, while I was waiting for this to get here, I thought, hey, you know what I can do? I'm going to build myself a new cord. So I found another cord that I had that was round. It was a 110-volt cord from some sort of inflator I had. I modified it, I plugged it in, and guess what I did? I fried the power port. It still had a bit of a charge in it, but when the new charger showed up, I couldn't get it to charge anymore. So that's why this is so nice. I bought it twice. So anyway, tell you guys a little bit, show you what comes in the box. I had to tell you that because it was just the stupidest thing I ever could have done. So this is the guy right here. Looks like one of them little Black & Decker, Dirt Devil, Dirt Busters, whatever they are. I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, so that right in there is where all the debris goes. It has a 12-foot pole, whatever, telescoping pole, which I really like with it. And yeah, so this right here, this is the mesh bag. It slides right inside like that. There's a couple things I didn't mention in the last review, but if somebody's looking for a good side hustle and you want to get into cleaning above ground pools, this is the cat's ass when it comes to that. I mentioned in other videos, but I tried all kinds of other things. I tried a redneck pool vacuum with tuck tape and a shop vac. It did nothing but waste water. Anyway, this thing right here, you know that fine little sediment and dirt that gets on the bottom of a pool? This thing sucks it up like nobody's business. Now, a couple things I didn't mention in last year's video. I don't even know if I got one the first time I ordered it, but this is like a fine mesh sleeve. So sometimes when it gets really like that fine, powdery, muddy dirt, oh, Ted, you didn't have, I appreciate it. You're a good man, Ted. Thank you so much for the support. You know I love it. I don't even know what to say. You got me speechless, Ted. That doesn't happen very often now, does it? So this mesh bag, this is for getting the real fine stuff. So you put it in there. You can take it back out when you don't need it. Also, the other thing I didn't mention was this right here. This was the other attachment. This goes along the inside of the pool, right along that seam where the 2 pieces meet together. And yeah, and it works absolutely exceptionally good. You rocked it. Thanks, Joseph. If you guys haven't seen Joseph's stickers yet, you got to check them out. They're pretty cool. I kind of enjoy it. So yeah, so this guy right here, you're very welcome, Tim. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ted. This guy gets out around the outside in that little seam part. You can go all the way around and it sucks it up really nice. Now this guy here, I want to show you. I know it's just a vacuum. Everybody's like, oh, I should know how a vacuum works. Yeah, it's true, but it only seems to pick up really well on the backstroke. So lift it up, push it forward, and pull it back. And it sucks the stuff up like, well, like nobody's business. I know I say that a lot and I enjoy it. But yeah, so don't do it on the out, don't do it on the in, do it on the coming back to you. Turn off your pump so you can see the water clearly. It works best when you got a couple of people that haven't, or when you got a couple of days or a day when nobody's been in there. But yeah, so I figured I'd go back too, guys, and I'd talk to you a little bit about some of the questions that people have asked me, because I get questions all the time about these tools, and I thought, hey, let's put it all in one place where the next person coming along who wants to know a little bit about this, can't wait for my twin. Yeah, so for the next person that wants to know, we got a place where we can answer all the questions, kind of like a follow-up video. So the first one somebody asked me, they want to know, how powerful is this thing? And I'd like to say, well, it really sucks, because it does. But I mean, it's not going to pull the bottom off your pool, but what it's going to do is it's going to pull up that fine sediment and debris really, really well. That's all it does. It's plenty powerful for that. It's low voltage. But it, yeah, so when you go like this, it sucks it up, it gets in here, you pull it out of the pool, and then I open it and dump it like this outside. That gets rid of all that. Now, somebody wanted to know, so it's a regular USB adapter cord, which is cool, and I like it. But like I said, that is the length of it. And another one of my big complaints has been the fact that the cord is just too damn short. Doesn't matter where I've plugged it in. I've plugged it into a USB on an iMac. I've plugged it into one of my little USB charger hub that you guys know I like. I've plugged it in using an iPhone 5-watt and 12-watt charger cube, but it never seems to have enough length. And of course, I could get an extender on it, but whatever. My only gripe with this entire thing, and it's not a big gripe, has been the charger cord. But somebody wanted to know, will it charge on an iPhone adapter cube? And absolutely it will. I've done it on the 5-watt ones, I've done it on the 12-watt, and they charge up really well. How do you tell when it's fully charged? Well, here's a little waterproof port where you plug in your charger, and right there's a little LED. It's red while it's charging. It's green when it's done charging. Works perfectly like that. How well does it handle sand? Well, let me tell you another little story. You guys are going to see on Wednesday this week my review of a new sand pump for my above ground pool. I love it. It has cut down my work like you would not believe. But, spoiler alert, you know, listen to me here when do not hook up your hoses backwards, because when you do that and you turn on your pump, that fine silica sand, instead of doing its job and filtering, blows itself all back into the pool. And then you know what you have? A fine layer of sand all over the bottom of the pool that seems to take about 3 days to settle out. So if you ask me, does this pick up sand? Absolutely. You don't even need the little white bag. Mine are on back order from Casey. I know that they, but yeah, so I got a ton of sand in my pool. I give it a couple of days to settle down. I used the black sediment bag right there, and it sucked it up perfectly. So it worked really good. Now, the other question somebody asked, and they wanted to know if you could be in the pool with this while you're using it. Well, first off, yes, it's, what do they call it? IPX8 rated, only 5-volt low voltage. So it's absolutely safe to be in there, but I still wouldn't recommend it simply because you're going to be stirring up all the dirt that you want to suck up. So the best thing, like I said, to do is let it sit, let it settle, and then get in there and start working your way backwards and use the telescoping pole to go out 12 feet and clean up the bottom of the pool perfectly. That's how I'd recommend it. Yeah, you can be in the pool if you want to be, and if you've got a really, really big or really, really deep pool that you need to be in there to do, yeah, it'll work. So as far as what you get when you buy it, for anybody, I don't think that I went back and showed everybody in the last review, but that's neither here nor there. But nice, beautiful box. You get the 2 heads, 2 adapters, fine mesh, coarse mesh, and the rechargeable battery. The battery life, something else I've learned in the last year and a half of using this, is that friggin' battery is incredible. So I would say last summer, I only charged this thing 3 times. It runs, a long time off the USB rechargeable port that's in it. Takes about 8 hours to charge when you finally do need to charge it, so bring it in overnight and let it charge. But honestly, we'd go about a month at a time without needing to charge it whatsoever. So it's a really good, has a really good battery life. Also, there's no way to service this. So when I shorted it out, just letting you know, there is no way to open this without completely destroying it. I took my time, I tried to work my way backwards. Every one of these are plastic sealed ports. You have to drill them out and you still can't get to the screws in there. So there's nothing factory serviceable in this whatsoever. So don't do what I did and fry the charging port, because I absolutely love this product. It's the best product. It's a little I wouldn't even say expensive, about $100, but it's up to my pool cleaning game. And the best part about it is it saved me a metric shit ton of time in cleaning the pool. I used to fret and worry and try to scoop and pull all that debris and junk and everything out all the time, and it just didn't work. And then we ended up spending some money on this. Last year we were in, everybody was locked down for COVID. Everybody bought pools. Everybody bought little inflatable hot tubs. And these things were so hard to come by. We got lucky and got one. And then, of course, I went and fried it and got myself a second one this year. And yeah, it seems to be working. Seems to be a little more supply on the market for them. But if you're looking for something like that, go ahead and pick this up. Toolman Tim's, how big is the pool that you're cleaning with that? Or is it just for your hot tub? So I have it's either a 12 or a 14 foot above ground pool. It's 42 inches deep, and I'm sitting down here in the corner, so you guys, it might be funny, but I can show you at least partly, maybe. So that's one. See if we can do this without knocking something off the wall. That's number two. So I can go all the way around my pool and reach to the center with this telescoping handle. Now it does have a little adapter, which I think is made to allow you to hook this on to yet more, a longer telescoping pole, but I haven't needed to. But for mine, I gotta say, I'm pretty sure it's a 14-foot pool. Now you're gonna make me have to measure it, but yeah, and it works great. It allows me to reach all the way in. And then, like I said, when I'm doing the little flaps in the corners, I kind of walk around like this and just kind of walk slow and work my way down behind the flaps, and it works. Yeah, and I know you guys have probably seen it, but the spoiler alert, you'll see a review this month on the Gorilla Tape. But after I finished cleaning up the pool, I ended up having a couple of holes in the pool. I don't know, I didn't cause them because of this, but I just kind of found them, and the Gorilla Tape did work. I had to frig with it a little bit and carry on, but it did work. So for anybody who's watching this video as a follow-up to my previously reviewed video, thanks for dropping by and seeing this. I always appreciate it. Like I said, we got tons of review videos. Check out the description and the link below for the original video. And yeah, keep coming back for more review videos. So how's everybody been? It feels like it has been forever since we've had a live stream, but it's only been 2 weeks. I ended up going with my wife. Where'd we go? Went up to the city, which is Edmonton for us. We spent 3 days up there getting some cavities filled and having some good time, eating too much food and enjoying it. Oh, Joseph, I know. I missed you too, Ted. We did chat for a little bit, though. That was nice. I appreciated that. I know, Joseph. I can't even imagine how overworked you are. I know I'm kind of feeling the stress on the back of the shoulders. I've got so much work coming up for the next 2 weeks, and which is good. I'm not complaining. What do they call it? We create our own mess in a good way. It's an embarrassment of riches. I got a ton of work coming up. I got to clean out a rental. What else we got on the go? Just picked up a really, really big overgrown lot that we end up getting about once a year. The town tells the local company, hey, it needs to be sprayed, weeds need to be removed. It's like a 3-day job. It pays really well, but they always call me on short notice, so we got that on the go. I just picked up, hey Tim, getting hot in Oklahoma. Hey, is that Joe? Yep, sorry, I have been working. So yes, 2 things. Number one, did the notice show up or work for you guys? Did anybody get a notice for the live stream to let you know that it was going? It seems if I book it and schedule it ahead of time, it works really, really well. I've had it booked for almost 2 weeks, And I got a countdown. Sure did. Perfect. Okay, so I've got those bugs worked out. I know you guys are awfully patient and I appreciate it, but just kind of learning the ins and the outs of this live stream thing. I got a tablet that's on data because I can't get real good Wi-Fi out here, so I'm going to have that so that I can read your comments without having to, you know, squint in with, make myself look like an old man while I'm in here. Do collaboration. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, collaborations in general. I love the idea of doing collaborations, and we're definitely going to end up doing them. So I want to get, I'm comfortable. I think I probably told you guys, but doing live streaming the first few weeks kind of felt like the first few weeks I was making videos, because I was like, I just feel like a kid going to kindergarten for the first day again, because it's something totally new, totally out of the ordinary. Stretching and uncomfortable, but yeah. So no, but I love doing it now, and we are gonna, I don't know if Joseph, have you got your Wi-Fi figured out in your shop yet? It's okay if you haven't. I don't mind a bit, but we will be doing some collabs. I'd love to get Chicken Hawk. I don't know if anybody's seen Chicken Hawk yet tonight, but if he pops in, I'd love to get him involved too. Be nice to get a bunch of different content creators going with this. And yeah, what else do I have on the go this week? Well, I just spent the entire, I put about 9 hours in on the vinyl siding. So if you guys are watching the progress on social media, my west wall is 80% complete. I can probably stream from my iPad on so here. Right on. Yes, as long as you get air conditioning in your shop trailer, which you probably don't, and I know it gets hot in there. But I actually left my garage door halfway open tonight, and I thought, we're going to take a chance. We're going to see how it goes. It's beautiful out. I'm getting a nice breeze, but sometimes when my dogs come out in the backyard and they hear some weirdo talking to himself out in the shop, they kind of freak out and go a little crazy, but they haven't. Or sometimes my adult kids will come by to 9 o'clock. It's not, but yeah, it wasn't bad here today. It was 27, 28 Celsius, which would be what? High 70s or low 80s, I think, something like that. Just beautiful. It was still hot though. That gray siding's nice, but it still reflects a bit of heat, like it kind of absorbs it and kicks it back on you, which I don't mind. But if you accidentally leave a piece of that styrofoam I'm using, so if you leave it green side up, no problem. If you leave it foil side up and you walk past it, you feel like you're going through a tanning bed. Like, the stuff's awesome, but man, doesn't it reflect the heat. Whoa. And yeah, but it's coming along good. I want to tell you guys, if anybody's ever thinking about trying something, 1030 South Florida. So if anybody, you guys should follow Ted on Instagram if anybody doesn't, because I literally, the wife and I were sitting out eating the other night, and I said, you got to look at this. And the pictures that Ted posts, and I think, am I right, Ted? They're basically from your backyard or like right where your house is, pretty close. She must be in like a little, I don't know how to explain how Florida works because I've never actually been there, but it seems like one of those little pass-throughs where boats come through. But he's always posting the most beautiful pictures of boats, day, night, sunset, the whole works, which I always enjoy. Yes, sir, he said. Now, I know you get some humidity there, so it's a trade-off, although I think I would still take Florida beaches, but I do like my Alberta summers here. But yeah, no, it was a beautiful day here today. It was my daughter's birthday, wrong side of the, oh yeah, that's all right. 2 nights ago, my daughter called up. She went to the city, all freaking out, and she had her car. She thought her car had died in the city. So off I do, like what a good dad does, and I hop in the car. It's 3 hours away, and I start driving. And I get halfway there, and she says, "Dad, it's working. I'm going to start driving." So I wait where she is, and I get her to come and meet me, and it was good. I was glad. I was worried about her. But you know how kids are. Sometimes they get a little carried away or whatever. But so I didn't end up getting that day to work on the siding. But today, my wife was really good. She scheduled everything for me so that I could have the full day, start to finish. I got up early, wrote the rest of my scripts for this week, because this week's my content creation week. So this isn't the one. You guys have seen me do that. That's how I schedule out my month for my videos. The actual schedule's downstairs, and then I script out them all. And then I'll come out here one morning and I'll shoot all 4 Money Making Minute videos. And what do you guys think? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. Maybe I overthink this stuff a little bit. But I was almost thinking about maybe changing the name of the Money Making Minute. I don't know to what, because it's more tool related. Like when I started my channel, it was more about business and growing your business, and it still is a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe most people don't care. They just like having quality content. Maybe that's all it is. But then the next day I'll do my Toolbox Tuesdays, my tool time video, gear reviews, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, then I'll have them all, edit them, and then hopefully I won't have to worry about making a whole lot of videos. So I had another idea too, guys. I'm thinking, don't hold me to this yet, but I've been really digging the YouTube short segments, or, you know, those little 60-second videos. I don't know if you guys like them or not, but I know the one that I posted with the sale for the fastback knife from Milwaukee was huge. I ended up getting almost 900 views on it and quite a few subscribers to the channel. So that was really cool. I don't know if you guys like that sort of thing, but so I'm kind of toying with an idea of August doing one video a day for the entire month, and just to get better at it, to see like what works, what flops, what do people like, what do people dig, what do people hate. And at least if nothing else, it can force me to get into making videos in the short form. I know Joseph is doing a really cool video. He showed me some previews of it. Tons of editing into his. I'm not all about that, but I posted the one the other day, the Crossfire sunglasses when they showed up. So if you guys like to see some of the little bit of gear that I pick up, I can do those videos too. I think I got maybe 40 or 50 views on that, and I really enjoyed it. It was quick, it's easy to knock out. But yeah, I mean, you guys know the main thrust of this channel is tools. So, you know, if I can do 31 videos in the month of August surrounding tools, all 1 minute long, hopefully it doesn't blow up your feed too much. And if it does, you can just mute me or whatever. But it's going to be my own personal challenge. We'll see if it works for August. If it doesn't, I'm going to go into September. But this is the spot where I shoot the shit with you guys. Love the shorts. Yeah, I do too. Although I'm wearing pants tonight, but that's another story. But, but yeah, I kind of enjoy them. It's a new way. I think it's going to be big. Of course, anything YouTube puts behind, it becomes fun if you have the time, like a challenge. Make an hour of shooting into 30, 60 seconds. Right? Exactly. That's the big thing. So I'm going to, yeah, I don't know. I want to challenge myself. I'm always trying to get better, trying to be more efficient. You know, I don't edit a lot of my videos. I mean, I edit them a little bit, but I try not to spend a ton of time editing because I'm busy, you know, and not in a bad way. I love doing what I do, but to put 5 videos out a week, I try to keep my editing to a minimum. So this is going to be a neat challenge for me to kind of work within that 60-second constraint and learn when to shut the hell up and stop talking for a bit, because, you know. But I started going through them last night, and I know YouTube's starting to build their short platform. I don't know if anybody else has got it. Joseph, if you've got the mobile app, did you get the beta testing for the shorts to make videos right from your phone? But I like the short format because I can throw it over on Instagram Reels, and I usually get like 800 to 1,000 views there. My daughter had started me a TikTok account, you know, because this old man didn't really know much about TikTok. But when I make one of those short videos, I just throw it up over there too, because if it's already made, I'd love to get it in front of as many eyeballs as I can so we can get more people to, you know, to join our community. Instagram Reels are ridiculous. 30 seconds. Well, now, see, I can get mine to 60 if you push the button. I got to look at that. I'll message you, Joseph. Maybe I'm calling it the wrong thing, but I think it is Reels because there's a couple different options there. But I know I can upload a 60-second video or 58 seconds or whatever it happens to be. But I know it, yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out because I like the 60-second thing. I enjoy throwing it out there. And I don't know if you guys saw, I know everybody who's in here tonight is American, but I almost felt like a bit of a traitor because, you know, my toolmantim.shop website, of course, is a ton of Amazon affiliate links. Yes, I can do them straight through the app, but not confident I can get. Yeah, I'm the same way. When I shoot a short, what's Ted say? Tim's Workshop just got a picture for you. We'll send it. Thanks, man. I like that. Yeah, so like when I shoot a short, you'll be going through my video feed and my phone, and it'll be like 17 of the same video, and it'll be like, hey guys, Toolman Tim, hey guys, Toolman, you know, and on and on and on. I do, so I like so many takes before I get one that I'm happy with, but it works. It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to throw it out there. But yeah, I was gonna tell you guys, I know anyway, it was kind of exciting for me. I haven't got a lot of sales out of it yet, but I launched the Canadian shop as well because, well, I mean, first off, you guys, my American community, of course, constitutes around 75% of all my traffic. My Canadian community is about 10%. So of course I was going to do all my recommendations for my American community first because there's the best bang in return for your buck there, right? And it's great, and I really am doing really good with the affiliate sales. So I appreciate all the support you guys give me, but most of it comes from all of these evergreen review videos that I put out on YouTube, which, cool, you know, it's awesome. Anyway, but I wanted to have a Canadian place there too, because I know a lot of times my Canadian friends and family are like, hey, how can we support you or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so I decided to launch that and get that done. And something else, this is a long ways down the road. I mean, number one, I would say within, you creators have a lot of patience. Thanks, Ted. Well, it's from having 5 kids, right? That gives me lots of patience. But you know, everything's, and Joseph knows this, everything in YouTube is long term. So, you know, growth is like this, but when you first start out, it's like this, and it's slow, and it's, you know, most people, if you can stick with it for a year, you're going to see some success with it. But you know, everything I set up, and I don't put this out there in the wrong way, but I hope anybody else wants to do this too, but everything I set up, I try to set up so that, you guys know I talk about set it and forget it all the time. I like to have systems in place so that I don't have to worry about something down the road. And all these today's tools posts I try to do 5 blog posts a week. And eventually, when I hit around 100 to 150 of those posts on the website, then I'll be able to recycle them, and they'll always just be there working for me. You know, it's a lot of work up front. I don't mind putting a lot of work in up front, but I'd like to have a website that sits there and keeps rolling and hopefully makes me a little bit of money, you know? And the Canadian shop is going to be the same way, I hope. I'm really excited about it. Do you guys have Vistaprint in the States? I'm thinking you probably do. Yeah, you must, because anyway, so I had a few test shirts printed up, and I know we're not a huge channel yet, but I wanted to have some. My daughters wanted to have some swag, as they call it, dad swag, because he's a real-time YouTuber, you know. So you guys will see me wearing my shirt in a few of the videos coming up this month. It's kind of cool. I enjoy it. Just testing out some different colors. But, you know, when we get maybe to, I don't know. Anyway, if there's a demand for them eventually, I'll offer them. Yes. Thanks, Ted. But, yeah, if there's a demand down the road, I'll definitely offer them. If the growth keeps going where we're at, I think we'll hit 2,000 subscribers between probably 2 hours of editing on each video, thumbnail creation, writing all the links in the descriptions. Oh man, yeah. I feel you, Joseph. The only thing I've been able to figure out how to do that is to stack it. So, like I said, I film all 4 Monday money-making minute videos in one morning, which I know is crazy, but usually between 6 and 8 in the morning, because I usually start work at 9. I get all that shit done then. Then, when I sit down, I edit all 4 money-making minute videos. I do all 4 thumbnails, I do all 4 descriptions, and they're done. Schedule them all, and they're done. And that seems to work well for me because my brain works in systems and cycles, and I like to have, you know, basically, if I'm already thinking about money-making minute, try to say that 10 times fast, money-making minute thumbnails, I can make them all at the same time. Just kind of, I'm not even sure what the right term for it is, but, you know, just stacking that kind of stuff so that I can get more done, and it works really well. What else we got coming up? So I'm really excited. Whoever it was that suggested it will shoot me, and you guys know, like, don't get mad at me if I ever forget somebody's name. I can barely remember my own kid's name sometimes, so there's that. But I got a blackout kit video coming up that's kind of going to work in with the generator videos, but basically how to put together a power outage kit, something that'll get you by till you can get your generator hooked up, or for people that don't have generators, something that will keep you going the whole time. So it's kind of cool. I love that stuff. You guys know I'm passionate about preparedness, and I love my Saturday videos, which tend to kind of go toward that. Yeah, I enjoy talking about it. While I was in the city, I tested out the new Anker Slim charger, the 10,000 milliamp one. Really good charger. I won't spoil it, and it's not a negative review. It's a little low capacity for me, but anything Anker makes is great. So yeah, I've been testing that out. Just started testing out the pruning blades from Diablo that my buddy sent me, which was awesome. I like them so far. Honestly, a little bit of vibration there. And I don't want to spoil all these reviews for you, but I love being able to share with you guys. I got the wireless anchor charger. It's great, but yes, a little low capacity too. Yeah, so that's my big thing is I run an iPhone 12 Max Pro. So there's basically enough in that 10,000 milliamp to charge my phone 2.5-ish times, which is okay. But when you figure in real world charging and loss of power and that sort of thing, you really only get 2 full charges out of it. And that's about what I got. And it's great to throw in a bug out bag or a bag that you're gonna, as a backup basically. But I like my bigger, thicker, heavier 20,000 milliamp anchor charger. And I can't remember the name of that one, but the 10,000 is the slim, and it works really good. But again, it wouldn't even quite get me through the weekend in the city. That's okay. Oh, it's a 2-pop show tonight, guys. I don't know if anybody else. I know I really need to give up the diet pop, but I guess there's worse things I could drink. But anyway. But what else have I been testing? Oh, I got those Crossfire safety sunglasses. And again, geez, I cannot remember who recommended them, but another person in the community said, you got to try these out, Tim, because as you know, I kill a lot of soldiers in my safety sunglasses throughout the summer. I'm miserable about setting them down and then stepping on them. And I'm also really, really particular on safety sunglasses and how they fit. I don't know if I have a fat head, but whenever they run back and if they sit on my temples, they end up giving me a headache. I bought a pair from Snap-on. I'm almost afraid to say how much I spent on them last year. I wore them for about 15 minutes and that was the end of that because they didn't fit well. So I took a chance on these Crossfires. I picked them out basically based on what I thought would fit my head really well. And I'll be damned, they are the most comfortable thing and they seem like they're gonna be durable. I'm going to run them through their paces for about a month before I come back and give you guys the full in and the out on that. What else? I got a new charger coming. I don't know if any of you guys ever watch Project Farm video. Hurricane season is upon me. Maybe should prepare. Still watching for the place. Just one of those things, Ted. A feller doesn't have to be. You'll never be prepared for anything, but a feller can be at least prepared for the most likely things to happen, right? And then you can work on it from there. But for me, yeah, even just a small little blackout bag, blackout bag's what I'm looking for there, sorry. Even having one of those, a small one of those, is great. You know, for me, I've got a drawer next to my bed that has a headlamp, some flashlight, some rechargeable batteries, everything I need to get up and get the generator going if it's dark and that kind of thing. So, you know, it works. I got a really cool, so I was talking about Project Farm. I don't know if you guys ever watch his YouTube channel. He's incredible. But I've been wanting a way to test all the AA batteries. I want to kind of compare. I took one for the team, just so you know. When we were in the city last weekend, I went to IKEA. And you guys know how much I absolutely love IKEA. But I went there specifically looking for their LADA batteries. I don't know what you call them. Anyway, they're their own 2450 milliamp rechargeable batteries, and apparently they're made in the same factory as the Eneloop batteries, but they're about three times cheaper than the one I love, Eneloop batteries. So I picked up a bunch of those. I also ordered some Amazon Basic rechargeables. I picked up some alkaline ones, and we're going to do a test on all these different ones and see, do they hold up? Are the milliamp hour ratings on them as good as what they actually give you in real life? And maybe we can figure out if these IKEA batteries are absolutely the same as the Eneloop batteries. Now, they just rebranded them to a green, but they still say made in Japan, and they still have 2450 milliamp hour rating on them. So fingers crossed. I would love to give everybody a cheaper option to have extra batteries around. I still use, I keep a lot of the ones from Costco because my daughter's Xbox remotes don't like the rechargeable batteries. It's kind of funny. I don't know why, but so they've gone through one of them big, what are they, a 48 pack? I think they've gone through. Ted says, you got a lot of Dewalt batteries. Hope you got their power station. So I do not. I can be kind of slick. Joseph has it and I love it. I want to have the power station, but I don't yet. I want to do a bunch of videos on what the hell you can actually do with that power station. How's your gardening going? You know what? So I ended up not gardening this year. I ended up running out of time. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, a feller gets so many projects on the go. I started clearing some land for some above ground wicking beds this year, and I just never got to it. And I said to the wife, I said, you know what? I'm not going to kill myself doing it. So I know I've seen Joseph's garden at least a while ago, and it looked really, really good. But back to Ted on the power station. Yeah, I got to get that, because when I'm going to do a video on my experience with Dewalt's warranty service. That's coming up this month as well. And so I got to talk to the guy who fixed my chainsaw. We had a nice long talk, and he talked about his power station, and he ran his natural gas forced air furnace off one of those power stations. He backfed his house with it, just plugged it into a 110 port, turned off his main breaker. I'm not recommending backfeeding, but if anybody wants to do it, it's not difficult, and it's safe as long as you keep your main off. But anyway, but that's what he did. He actually powered his forced air furnace with that, and it ran a long time. And he also said his buddy ran his central air unit in his camper off one of those as well. So I got to get one, because if I'm into backup power, my daughter asked me, mine ran my propane central furnace. Yeah, see, that's incredible. I want to get, what I really want to get too, and you guys might shoot me for saying it, is one of those Milwaukee top-offs. I want to get one of them and see the absolute most I can run through one of them little, what are they, 275 watt inverters onto a Milwaukee battery. I wish DeWalt would come out with one, but anyway, but I am absolutely going to get one of those power stations, because my daughters asked me, they said, Dad, how many batteries do you have? So we made a big ice storm. Oh, yeah. We made a pile. I had to charge a bunch of batteries yesterday. So they said, well, how many amp hours do you have in it? I had 89.5 amp hours worth of DeWalt batteries. So I thought, oh, that's not too bad. But that is a lot of stored up energy that a feller could tap into. Just use a transfer switch, just in case you forget. Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to get one of those hooked up. But because yes, the last thing a fellow wants to end up doing is backfeeding up into the power lines and then hurting a power line worker, that sort of thing. But yeah, so I'm definitely got that on my list. So when I was talking to this guy, I tried to finagle him a little bit. I'm like, hey, do you ever get any like returns or cheap ones? Trying to get a deal out of him, but he wasn't budging. So one thing he did tell me, now I don't know if this is just in Canada, but I thought this was one of the coolest little things I'd heard of in a long time. But any of the factory service centers up here in Canada, so there's 9 or 10 in the country, authorized service depots. If you have any of the old 18 volt DeWalt stuff, whether it's the batteries or the tools, if you trade them in, they'll give you somewhere between 40 and 50% off the regular retail price of the same tool or battery in the 20 volt platform. And I can't see how, if they do that at the Canadian DeWalt service centers, that they wouldn't do that in the American ones too. So something for somebody to look into if you have any of those old ones, or if you just happen to have somebody giving you a bunch and you want to trade them in on a good deal. But I thought that was really, really cool. What else did he tell me? Yeah, so if you look at the model number on any DeWalt tool, if it starts with a DX, it's not made by DeWalt. It's something that they have farmed out to another company. So somebody buys the rights to use the DeWalt name. Like I was at Costco the other day, and I've been eyeing up one of them great big, what is it? I can see it from here, 18-inch drum fan. Something you can use for drying out stuff when you have a leak, or just cooling yourself down out in the shop. And my wife finally said, Tim, you really need to buy this. So I brought it home, and it has a DX on it. So some company buys the rights or licenses the rights to the DeWalt name and then makes the products for them. So if you ever look and you see the model number starts with DX, that's what it's for. And one other thing he told me about, before I forget, was DeWalt ServiceNet. So any product that DeWalt's ever made, owned, sold under any of their umbrellas, just type in DeWalt ServiceNet into Google, and you can log in, and it has like exploded parts diagrams, owner's manuals, everything for all the tools you ever need. So if you're ever looking for a DeWalt part number and you can't find it, go to DeWalt ServiceNet, and that seems to work. So we ended up chatting for like an hour. It was kind of cool. I learned quite a bit from him. Also found out that DeWalt bought out MTD, which I thought was friggin' huge. If you guys don't know who MTD is, they're basically behind half of all the folks using those drum fans for I can see that, absolutely, for parasailing, yes. No, absolutely. And it probably would work. You just need some way to, I guess, power them that wouldn't electrocute you or something like that. But yeah. So yeah, he said Dewalt bought an MTD. If you guys already knew about that, it's kind of cool. But basically, half of all lawnmower brands out there are made under the MTD umbrella. So Dewalt's trying to get a big push into the landscaping end of things, which I thought was really cool. I read a couple of the press releases, and they're trying to get into the battery end of things really big. I think they're already there pretty good, but it'll be kind of cool. And he said they're also, DeWalt is pushing to bring all of their manufacturing back to North America, which I thought was huge. I guess it's been in the works for a while, but since COVID or whatever, there's been a huge push for them to bring everything back, you know, Mexico and the US included, and there's a factory in Canada, which is kind of cool. But they want to have 100% control over their entire infrastructure, their supply line, parts, everything. So hopefully that really works for them, because I mean, there's nothing worse than trying to go and buy a tube of caulking and you can't find it, or trying to get a 2x4 and it's 10 times as much. I don't know if anybody's been looking, but our 2x4s are down about 50% from their height, so that's a big start for us. Well, I don't know. Anything else? Anything going on with you guys this week? I know it's been a couple of weeks. I've gone long tonight, but it was nice to be back in here chatting away. Like I said, we got a busy week. I know I've been trying really hard to take Friday or Saturday, Sunday off for sure. And most weeks I've been trying to take Friday off with my wife, because she's been doing the 3-day weekend thing. Just been forcing myself to do it. But this week it's not going to happen, and no, it isn't. And that's okay. Lots of money to be made this week. I'm excited to get out there. I'm happy to be working. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. I got an exciting week coming up. I'm looking forward to getting out there. I got 2 of my kids home with me working right now, so I kind of enjoy that. And yeah. All right, well, what do we got there? I was supposed to be off this weekend, ... So did you get called into the hotel, Joseph, or was it something to do with property management, for instance? Because we had a huge, what they call plow wind here. What'd you say? Dang washer machine at the hotel. Oh, poor Joseph, I know. We had a huge, I don't know, I didn't even post any pictures, I don't think, but we had a big plow wind come through here, which is, I know it's a weird thing. I've only ever experienced them on the prairies, but just really fast, really hard, pushing through wind. And I dropped my daughter off at swimming. It was beautiful, sunny, and all of a sudden I seen the street lights come on, and it got dark, and I thought, oh, we're in for trouble. And all of a sudden I could feel the back end of my truck going like this. And I thought, I got to go home, because I got a whole pallet of styrofoam sitting on the back of my dump body truck there that I didn't put a weight on because I thought it was nice. 96 shower cartridge. Oh my God. So we had trees down, limbs down, stuff that big all around. And I had 5 different properties that I look after had either, well, actually we had four that had wind issues. So 3 had branches down, 1 blew a chimney cap off, and then I had that hornet's nest you guys seen that I ended up taking care of the other night. So that was cool too. I ended up using this foaming stuff that I got from Home Hardware, and it worked incredibly well. I went back just before dark, sprayed the shit out of them hornets. It was in the wall. I pulled the tape back, sprayed it in, had all my gear on. The only thing that was uncovered was my face, and they didn't even come out. And I asked the tenant the other day, and everything's been really, really good. So I'm excited about that, because I didn't want to have to go back and deal with it. And if you guys ever seen my redneck hornet's nest destroyer, I love it. It's a 12-foot piece of ABS pipe attached to a shop vac with soapy water in the tank. And just think this way, Joseph, now you can buy more. Yep, we always need an excuse to buy more tools. But so the hornet's nest was in a spot where I couldn't use my nest sucker, so I had to do it old school and spray the heck out of it with the all that extra stuff. So it worked. I killed them. It was great. I was happy. I didn't get stung, even though the week before I did get stung when I was overdoing some pole sawing for a customer. But that's part of the joys of the business, you know. All right, how we been? Oh, we're over. You know what, guys? We've been over 45 minutes, and I got to get up early in the morning. And I know Joseph's got a lot on the go, and I know Ted, it's like 2:45 in the morning there, right? I know us. Ignorant Albertans, we always pretend like we don't know what the weather is. I got to keep hustling. I have 2 orders. Swiss tools. I get it. We all got to, right? But all right, guys, I'm going to end it there. I always appreciate you coming in. This was awesome. This is the best one yet, I think. And I always enjoy hanging out with you, Tim. Thanks, Joseph. Joseph and I do a lot of chatting throughout the week. It's nice to bounce ideas off each other, you know. But all right, guys, that's it for me. And as always, you know the line, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. Thanks again, guys, for dropping by the weekly workshop. A new edition drops every week, so keep an eye out. And if you're looking for a solution to such problems as I spilled paint on vinyl siding, or I can't get this heavy picture to stay on the wall, stop by toolmantim.co and check out the Today's Tool section, where I share products and tools that have either made me money or saved me money personally or in my long-running year-round handyman business. And if you found value in this content, please take a moment and share it on your social platform of choice. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.